guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you some successful interview tips for any job, and not just Victoria's Secret, which was my previous interview video. It was super detailed, you guys really liked it, and it inspired me to make a video for any job. With that being said, let's start off with the first tip, and this tip would be to research the company. Depending on what position or what company you are applying for, the things you research kind of vary. So I picked a couple things that will work for any job, and one thing that I think is super helpful to research is the mission statement. This is important because this is the values and the goals of the company, so you want to incorporate that into your interview so they know you're a candidate that aligns with their values and their goals. Another thing you can research is the dress code. A lot of companies have different colors and attire that they wear, so it helps to know the dress code of the company so that when it is time for your interview, you're able to look the part. And the last thing I think is really important to research is the company's competitors. Not necessarily researching the competitors of the company, but knowing where your company stands in its industry. So for example, I was interviewing for Victoria's Secret, and through my research I learned that Victoria's Secret was the #1 seller for bras, and bringing in this information to my interview really helped me out a lot. The next tip will be to search up interview questions. Now, there are a lot of questions that you could be asked during the interview, so I think it's important to pull together at least 15 to 20 questions. You can find these questions on Reddit, Glassdoor, Indeed, or any other job listing site. Once you have all of your questions listed on your Google Doc, you're going to actually answer those questions. This is when the research that you've completed is so important, because you're going to incorporate your research into some of those interview questions. And don't forget to write down those common interview questions that you'll be getting. So what are your weaknesses? What are your strengths? Tell me about yourself. Things like that are super important to write down too, and answer them on the Google Doc. When it comes time to do the interview, those simple little questions can shake you up a little bit. So just keep that in mind. And the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna memorize those questions and answers. A tip that I have for memorization is going one by one down your list and repeating each question and answer at least 10 to 15 times. And this is going to help you with the next tip, which would be to conduct your own mock interviews. This can be done by yourself or by another person. Either way, it's going to help you relieve the nerve that you will get during your actual interview. Ultimately, mock interviews are going to help you feel so much more prepared for the real deal. Now you're ready to actually interview. But first, you're gonna need to look the part. And this is why it was important to research the dress code, because when your potential employer is interviewing you, it may be easier for them to see that you are a potential candidate and that they can see you working for the company just because you're in dress code. Also, don't forget to bring a notepad with questions written on it for the end of your interview. Don't forget to bring a couple reliable pens, a couple resumes, and just in case you're hired on the spot, I'd bring my ID and my social security, or whatever you think you're gonna need upon being hired on the spot. Make sure you come to your interview early. You don't wanna come on time. You wanna come 10 to 15 minutes early to your interview, because it's just a good look. And remember, the person interviewing you is not the only person that's watching you. People who are connected to your potential employer, like the staff that work there, maybe any customers, always greet anybody in that space with a smile. Also, don't be afraid to get to know the staff that work there. And when it's appropriate, go ahead and ask them questions about their job or the company. Once you wait around 10 to 15 minutes, your potential employer is going to call you back for an interview. Learn the interviewer's name beforehand, whether you learn from the staff or you look it up on the company's website, because you're going to want to use their name when you greet them, and then also greet them with a smile. During your interview, don't forget to be confident. That means straightening out your posture, pay attention to your nonverbal communication, and be a great listener. An additional tip that I have for you is to try and get this interview to seem like a regular conversation. Try to connect with the person that is interviewing you, which helps a lot. I think that's better than being in an interview where someone is asking you questions and you're just answering them. At the end of your interview, the interviewer is going to ask if you have any questions. Before coming to your interview, write at least 4 to 5 questions on your notepad, just in case some of those questions are answered during the interview. When the interview is over, don't forget to thank the interviewer for having you come in and interview, and reassure them that you're super interested in the position. I also think it's a good idea to follow up a couple days after the interview, unless they say otherwise. And if you're watching this video because you have an interview that's coming up and you're super nervous, don't worry, you got this, and good luck. I hope that these interview tips were very helpful for you, and if they were, don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next one.